The video today is, can you bug out with Battlebox? Do you want premium ad-free content? Duh. Content that's not censored by big tech, of course. Well, with SD Insider, you can get behind the scenes and a whole lot more. Link in the description. All right, dispatchers, I got my boys out here in the woods. We just did a 72-hour challenge. I did a bougie Gucci camping challenge. And these two guys right here, they ended up doing a Battlebox subscription box challenge where you had to survive with only stuff from Battlebox. And so I see all of this stuff out here on the table that you've got. You've been with them since mission 3, right?
Yep.
And so every single product that is on this table is something that you got from Battlebox.
Right, so either the vast majority I got in the basic level subscription, which is where I've been at the whole time. And then some of the items I actually went through their store and purchased separately, like the Silky Saw, the Grail. So some of the things I saw that I wanted that they sold, but didn't come in my subscription level, I just went on their store and bought it so I would have it. So that's where some of the items came from.
Now, I see a lot of really high quality stuff out here. I mean, I know for sure, just being me, that I could take this kit that you have right here and I could go out and I could survive with it for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there's a lot of extra stuff in here as well.
Yeah. So, redundancy is built in with just about everything that we have up here.
With your mindset, you've got redundancy built into this kit,
Absolutely.
Obviously. So why don't you just take it from the top? Why don't you, let's go over our survival priorities and let's talk about your choices. So let's start with shelter.
All right, well, first up, we got the DD 3x3 tarp. This thing is phenomenal. It's got 19 tie-outs, and it is big enough for one person, but also for two people, which in the case for Robert and I.
Oh, y'all had plenty of room.
We had plenty of room in this thing. So definitely the tarp for the main part of the shelter. For the insulation layers, I had to go with the Bubby because I was trying to keep the kit as small as I could and lightweight as I could, given the weather that we have. But this thing is really, really good. You can use it as a sleeping bag, or you can unzip it and use it as a blanket. So, and that's what we ended up using it.
So kind of like the Snug Pack, the jungle bag, like that I carry. It's almost the same thing.
Right.
You just don't have the mosquito net with
Correct.
that one, right?
Yeah, it's just the poncho liner nylon material with the insulation. So, but it's still very useful, versatile and useful. Like I said, you can use it as a sleeping bag or as a blanket or as just a ground sheet, just something to lay out gear on.
Lay up against a tree, wrap it around you to keep yourself warm.
Yep.
And I noticed when y'all went out that since y'all were sharing, you also had some kind of liner.
Yeah, I had
inside of it.
It was a fleece sleeping bag liner that they had given us in an early mission from one of the companies, and it was just the same principle. You can use it as a fleece sleeping bag on its own, or you can unzip it and make it into a blanket. So we had that. We had the wool blanket that's on the table.
Oh, that you were using as your ground cloth.
Right. We laid that down first, and then we had leaves and pine needles under that just to kind of give us some loft too. And then we used the Bubby and the fleece sleeping bag liner to give us those insulation qualities. So on top of what we were wearing.
Now, in addition to that, they can also go onto the website because there are lots of choices that they could have as far as subscription packages go, right? Because I've never actually ordered anything from Battlebox.
Yeah.
But most of what you've always had the basic.
Correct.
Right, from the beginning.
Yep.
And then you just supplemented along the way. So if somebody wanted to get a basic subscription box, they could get all of this stuff and a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the store the products that they have are endless. I mean, from cutting implements to cooking implements, they have it all. You can build your own bug out bag, bug in bag, whatever you need from just what they sell on the website.
Well, I mean, already jumping into it, I mean, the majority of us run DD hammocks or tarps. Like you've got the ultralight.
I love DD. I've been running it for 10 years.
What you've also run DD products before, haven't you? And so has Denny.
The 3x3 is that is the sweet spot as far as size goes.
Yeah, I prefer a square over a rectangle any day, as far as that goes. So that right there, I mean, I've had mine for well over 10 years.
And the versatility you can do with this tarp as far as different shelter configurations depending on weather conditions and things like that. Like this is just standard.
And I would say if you had a family of 4 right? If you had the wife, the husband, and 2 kids, you could definitely get it underneath, get your family underneath that tarp.
Yeah.
So as far as bugging out with a family, if somebody decided to bug out with this stuff, you could still take care of more than just yourself.
Absolutely.
With just that setup right there.
Yeah.
And then if you added other components to the individual bags, you would have a system that you could work out in the field.
Easily.
Because that's something that our viewers are concerned about.
Right.
You know, well, show a bug out video with the family. Like,
Right.
how am I going to take care of my family out in the field? And just having a DD 3x3 meter tarp is a really good start.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Hey, my size, I was kind of standing in for the family this week.
There you go. Yeah. So there was 2.5 men under.
Yeah,
one.
2 full-grown men under there, and y'all had plenty of room for your bag, your gear.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
We
everything
still
else.
had enough room above us that we could have packed our everything else, our boots, bags,
Including your firewood.
yeah,
too, inside
absolutely.
of that
yeah,
shelter.
it was roomy as all get out. So I am thoroughly impressed with the DD 3x3.
So along with the tarp and your whoopee bag there, what do they call it?
Bubby.
A bubby. So along with your bubby, you also had the cordage, 100 feet of cordage, right?
Yeah, so this stuff is actually, you call it what you want. I like it. It's obnoxious. It stands out. That's what I want when we're in the woods like this. It glows in the dark and it's reflective. They sent this in and it's 100 feet. I had another piece or another hank that I used, but I brought this just in case we needed it for something else, because you're always going to need some kind of cordage, and it's easier to carry it than try to make it from the landscape.
And so even from a signaling standpoint, like if your kid wandered off to go to the bathroom or something, they could shine the light. And that, I mean, because I went to go up there last night and I shined the light and I could see you so far away.
Yeah, it will beam back at you like lasers. With even a dull light, it'll still shine back at you. So it's really good. It's the standard 7-strand paracord. But like I said, it's an obnoxious color because I want to be able to, if I drop my ferro rod or my light or anything, I've got this that I can see at night, just shine it around, and I can still find it. So
now, what about the other end of the spectrum, though, as far as low visibility? Because a lot of people like me, I prefer low visibility. I know that you prefer low visibility as well.
yeah, so it depends on your personal preference, and it depends on the situation that you're finding yourself in. If you're trying to be rescued, you want to be as loud and obnoxious as possible. If, in that case, you have that. When you're trying to be low key because of the situation, you have to move through an area undetected, then obviously not something that visible. So anything, you could even take that and rub it through mud if you had to. If that's all you had, rub it through mud, dull the color on it, or just use a black, a brown, any kind of earth tone colors.
No, that's a great point.
Or
yeah.
you could pull the inner strands out of it and use those. I mean, they would probably be white, but at least they would take the color and not have the reflective or day glow.
Absolutely.
Well, then obviously you want to get into areas with vegetation. It's not going to have long sight visibilities anyway if you're doing that kind of stuff.
Right,
So.
if we're talking about a bug out scenario
well,
or an
right.
SHTF scenario.
Yeah, it's situationally dependent. So
Okay, so shelter, but what about water? What do you got for water?
So my go-to is the Grail. This thing is bomb-proof. It works.
I don't think there's a member of FTF that doesn't have one.
No, we've all got
Like every single one of us carries one of those things.
So easy.
The gold standard for the longest time has always been stainless steel.
Unless you're fancy like D and you've got titanium stuff.
I don't
Yeah.
have the titanium that.
But it's coming.
Yeah. I'm always going to have backups to the main priorities. Obviously with our clothing being the first line of shelter, then supplementing with actual sheltering material. Water, I'm going to always have a stainless steel container of some kind, because if this thing freezes, if there's water left in it, it will destroy the filter and we can't use it.
Now, to their credit, Grail says that you can freeze the filter 3 times, but I personally don't want to take that chance. I don't know about y'all.
No. If I'm having to use what I pack in for an extended period of time, I'm not going to risk it. So,
And there is another technique as well. Like when I went up to the boundary waters in the middle of winter, I had to carry my bottle on me inside of my jacket so it was up against my core so it didn't freeze.
Right.
But I had to wear it the entire time. I could not even set it down for 2 minutes or it would have froze up on me.
Yeah.
But it is something that you could do.
Yeah, there's always little tricks and hacks and tips, or what do you want to call them, that you can do to prolong the life of it in cold weather. But for just the simplicity of it, where if I need water now, this is the go-to. I
Yeah,
don't have
11
to wait.
seconds you're drinking.
Right. I don't have to wait to, boil the water or filter it out, boil it out, wait for it to cool down so that I can drink it. I just go for this.
But I really like the fact that Battlebox offers this because it also has the lid with the strainer as well. And I prefer butterfly handles myself. But I like that because now you have a backup to your primary right there.
Yep.
And if the filter fails on a Grail, you take the filter off the bottom of it, and it's still a container. You can boil your water in the cup.
That's an excellent point. Yeah.
And you have to wait for it to cool down, but then you can pour it in the Grail and use it as a storage device, even if it doesn't have a filter.
Still functional in that regard. Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. But I see you've got more because this right here, you're really dependent on your water sources as well, just because of how many ounces that actually carries. So I noticed that you've got the viral flocculation bag here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because you actually used it, you and Sandy used it this weekend. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, so this thing is like 2.5 gallons of water when it's all said and done. Once you collect the water and put the flocculation powder in it, you sit it there and you got to shake it. You got to mix it really well.
5 minutes.
5 minutes worth of shaking. And the great thing is the instructions are printed on the bag. So you just follow the directions and wait. And
that's really handy.
It is.
And let's say that you ran out of the flocculation.
Cool. Let's say I run out of it. Now my stay has extended for whatever reason. I ran out of that. I still have this container to store water in.
Yeah, store and transport. If your campsite's not near a water source, it becomes your transportation.
It actually tastes like
hang it up, and you can still run it through your grill to provide.
And I really like that about what y'all did because you went down to the creek, you filtered your water, purified your water. Y'all had immediate water to drink, which you actually transferred some of the water over to a canteen as well. So both of you had bottles, but you were both hydrated. And while that was working, you were hydrated and you had some in store ready to go.
Yeah, we're just waiting to let it do its thing. That's the passive one. This was an active one. This was fast and easy. We were ready to go. That was for dinner last night. For breakfast this morning, it was ready to go.
And it saves like 5 trips to the creek.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and another thing too that I've noticed on the table, you also have the ability to pre-filter with the Wazoo tracking bandana as well. So you do have a piece of cotton that's multi-purpose.
And it does help, in some cases if you still have a little bit of a discoloration in the water. It could be something that's just a natural iodine. It could be whatever. It just doesn't look that clear. You run it through a piece of cotton over your cup to filter it. Yet once again, it clears it up. So
yeah, which you clearly showed after using it, because I think all of us have doubts, right? When you see that Battlebox viral video where Brandon's out there in his muddy 4-wheel drive pond that he's created out there. I mean, that stuff was nasty that he had in that video.
Yes.
But we went into a creek. It was still dirty.
Oh yeah.
But you could actually see it working when it was doing. I think this is great if you have a family.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right. You have multiple people in your group or whatever. Now you have a water source that's working for you while you can go back and use this as your primary for individuals or even to fill up other people's canteens.
Right. Well, and it also helps you manage your time as well with the family. I mean, even if everybody's got a grill, everybody's walking around with a grill, this is doing its job, and you take away that time you're doing travel if you're going to a water source back and forth.
Right. Yeah, one unit, one member from the unit can do that. Right. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. So we've taken care of shelter, water. Let's talk about fire.
Fire. We all love fire. So this has been my go-to for a really long time, just because of how many uses I can get out of this. And you cut off what you need, you fluff it up in your hands, and it puffs up real good, and it will take a spark from a ferro rod like that. But going back to redundancies, I always want to have multiple ways of making fire, especially in a wet environment. So we've got the Uberleben Hex ferro rod, and this joker is phenomenal. When I say it will shower you with sparks, it will shower you with sparks. If I can get it. There we go. So we've got that. We've got the Exotac fire sleeve.
Classic.
Yep. Because if I take a drink and I fall in, I've still got a waterproof container for my lighter. And then we've also got the Wazoo fire cards. So
Those things are just amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite fire extender.
Yeah.
I would
when I
highly
go out in
recommend
the
it.
field.
That's
Or cutting off a little bit of it to put into your solo stove.
That
Yes.
has a very high giggity factor.
Yes, big giggity factor.
Yeah, and so like Simmons was saying, the solo stove goes into the, it serves two purposes. It's a vessel to have a fire in, to boil my water to purify it with, to cook my food,
Right.
or just as a morale booster. Just having that fire to keep you warm. Inside your shelter, you're creating a microclimate that can help and be the difference between hypothermia or not.
Oh, and
So-
I have shown that in previous videos before. Y'all seen me actually use that stuff that I learned from Alan Kay when we did bug out exercises together. I won't leave home without my solo stove now.
Oh, yeah.
After that.
Well, and it weighs nothing, so when it packs down to this size, I mean, it doesn't take up that much room in the pack.
You could probably you could put a few knickknacks in there too, like inside.
Well, yeah, and so typically I will, just as a backup. So I have a few of these where I've used them down to just a nub, so I'll throw that in there, and I may throw in one of the mini Bics just so I have it ready to go.
Yeah, that's a great point. You don't have to carry the entire thing.
No,
either.
use what you need, just pack
whatever you
them.
need
Right.
out of it.
Yep, and then also we have the Yuko candle. I actually used this a while back at my cabin to give us a little bit of light, and it works great.
But under a DD, it can also help with your microclimate.
True.
For sure.
Yeah. So
Definitely. That's classic. I mean, even the SAS thing where you cover up next to the tree and the trash bag or your poncho or whatever, you can definitely create a microclimate in there. The only thing you got to worry about is
catching it on fire and carbon monoxide.
carbon monoxide, right? So that's the only factor with that. But you do have a candling device as well.
Right.
And it's self-contained,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So we can hang it up if we need to, or if we need to do something hands-free, we can hang it up. We don't have to sit there and try to hold it while we're working on something with a knife. So
And speaking of
and-
being able to see stuff, though, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and the great thing about having a candling device like this is you're not eating up your batteries from your headlamps.
bingo.
Right. And you could refill that if you had to.
Yes.
We could make candles and use that as the form
Yeah.
in a primitive way.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. If you're not trained, obviously you couldn't do it, but we could definitely make that happen
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for sure, using that as a form. So you were talking about seeing while you're out there, but you also have
Yeah.
a candling device or the ability to see out there.
Right. Yeah. So we've got the hybrid light, and I love this thing because it's so slimline. The head swivels on it. It's a
Kind of like the
rechargeable.
stream light.
Yeah,
almost.
so it's it can go all the way. It's great. I use it all the time, and it's got multiple light settings. So we have the white, red, and then if you hold it down, it'll go to a green. And I guess it's telling me the battery's almost dead. So, but yeah, it'll cycle through white, red, and green.
Well, you just used it for 72 hours.
Yes, and it's been a little chilly. So,
You know.
and I always want to have a backup because if I don't have a battery bank, which I did have one, but if I run through the juice, and that one's dead and I don't have any more battery backup, I always keep one on me. So if I'm sleeping, I will take this and put it into my pocket so that I've
keep
got
it warm.
Yep. And then if I get out in the middle of the night and I can't find the one headlamp, well, I can just reach in and pull out the backup.
And you were telling me that just came in a recent.
Yeah, this is one of the more recent missions that this one came into. So, and I like it because it's non-slip, it's silicone, it stretches, and it
Pretty
fits over my
lightweight.
big head. Yeah, it's super lightweight. Same rechargeable, takes the micro USB, just the same as the hybrid light. So it's
Now, is
one-
it a simple on-off?
Yeah, it's
on
just
that?
a high, medium, and low.
Oh,
and
that's
off.
that's okay. Because I literally, when I want a light, I literally just want to push the button, and I have a light.
Right. Yeah. It's user dependent. Like it's what you prefer. So some people don't like headlamps; they prefer flashlights. So me, I like to have just a headlamp, so my hands are free to do whatever I need to do.
Okay. Well, what have you got on the table as far as food goes?
So Battlebox is awesome in the fact that these guys carry pretty much the complete line of Peak Refuel meals and the ReadyWise.
Both are awesome. I've had both.
Yeah.
Denny's really the authority on that. Like you've had the Peak ones.
Yeah, the pigs are awesome.
They're the
Like that,
best,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and this is the biscuits and gravy. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have
We're in the South,
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feed that boy some biscuits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great way to start the day.
Yep.
But yeah, they have so many on their website available. You can get, your breakfast items. You can get whatever else. This is the spicy Asian noodles. They have all of them.
And this is super high quality stuff too. This is like way better than what you could buy at Walmart, or even if you went to like a outfitting store like REI or something.
Yeah. So the serving sizes, they're 2.5 servings, and for me, typically it's one and done. But this weekend I had to share, so I did use the 2 serving method. So
yes, he did feed me.
but yeah, they the food wise they've got covered. They've got coffee. This is one of their newer ones, Kuyu coffee.
Just a comfort item.
Yeah,
I know going to disaster scenes, just being able to hand somebody a cup of coffee when they're down.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like a game changer right there.
Absolutely. And it doesn't stop there. They've got the bone broth. Then they've got hydration packs.
That's pretty cool. And these are what, Mountain Ops?
Yeah, Mountain Ops. And now, I'm not a big fan of a lot of hydration packs because to me they have a chemical taste or a chemical aftertaste. Those are the bomb. Those are amazing. They do not have a chemical taste.
So you're saying in relation to
others? Yes, that's my go-to now. So,
well, how do you say they compare to like LMNT or snake juice? Snake juice tastes horrible to me, but it has so much potassium in it.
It's packed full.
You know, I'm just telling myself this is medicine. This is not me drinking water or whatever. Like, this is literal medicine that I need.
Put me on the spot here. Personally speaking, it's gonna have to be Mountain Ops.
Really?
Sorry, it is. I mean,
well,
it's
if
lemon.
he said it, then it's got to be.
Yeah,
there.
I wanted him to try it
They
too,
were
just
good.
to see.
They were really good.
But yeah,
It's lemon.
Yeah, lemon.
Lemon. Yeah.
So
Okay.
easy peasy. I don't need any fancy dragon fruit flavors. Give me a lemon, give me a lime, give me strawberry, something. Just simple.
And speaking of frou-frou, I see that you have the kit here.
Yeah. So
we got to show the audience this cuteness. I mean, this versatility.
So for the longest time,
here?
I have ran just a spork. Just a run-of-the-mill spork? Yeah, just a
hate
spork.
a spork.
I know.
We all ate sports.
But it's what I had, and I made it work. And so this one came in the most recent box. And
Oh, this one did?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is recent.
That
This
is recent.
Literally
That is
just
the,
got that.
Yeah.
And forget, is this titanium?
No, it's stainless steel.
Stainless steel. Oh, okay,
Like a
that's
spork.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
So-
prefer to have stainless myself.
Yeah.
You know, and titanium if I had the money.
Right. Well, and these things are not like cheap quality. I mean,
No,
they
I
are,
can tell.
They're
Yeah.
pretty.
They're
these
pretty
things
stout.
are, yes. So, yeah, if I needed a digging utensil or something, I've got a spoon.
When I was out in the field, there was a guy that, you know, we used to wear the Hill People gear in the front, and he would keep his utility kit right in the front. So if it was time to eat, he was ready to go.
Man has priorities, man.
And
I
that's
like
what
it.
I think of you with this. Like, it's time to eat, man. I'm ready to go.
Well, yeah. And
I'm
so
tactically efficient.
the spork is fine in what it was originally designed for, but I can now say I have a fork. I have a spoon.
You're civilized.
I'm a civilized person now, yes.
Plus, I mean, you could use it for other stuff.
yeah.
as
I mean, it's
well.
got the straw.
Because what I'm thinking is I could use this to clean my weapon.
Yeah.
If I had
Yeah.
to. Right.
Well, the straw, I'm not a big straw person,
Yeah.
especially stainless, but in a pinch, that's a pocket bellows.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you could definitely use that as a pocket bellow. For
So,
sure. Okay.
Or if you were, hiding out, little ninja
Yeah.
thing like y'all.
But-
hiding in a pond.
But it does go to a comfort item that affects your PMA.
Like a
so-
taste of home. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that with the coffee especially. I mean, not to mention the fact that you get the caffeine.
I
but
would have to try the survival straw and see if I could make some primitive darts. like hunt squirrels.
little
or-
toothpicks
yeah,
coming
little
out of there.
toothpicks or something and hunt squirrels.
Might
or
be able
small,
to get the escargot or
the small
Yeah.
birds or something. I don't know what kind of range that short of a straw would have, but like I'd have to try it.
Yeah. Well, moving on from that, something that's very important: first aid.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not prepared. So, what do you have in line with that?
So, my medic, this company's great.
Yeah.
They have been making first aid kits and components for a long time. This one came in a couple missions back, and it's not open just because I have so much already at the house that I can use. But for portability, this is the go-to.
If they wanted to put a bag together, they can trust the contents that are in that bag because
Yes.
they're high quality. They're not junk.
No.
And I am highly, I mean, being an EMT, I am highly against, the prefab kits
Right.
or whatever. But the components in that kit, and it doesn't just have first aid stuff.
Right. No.
What else do you have in there?
So, included in this small kit, there's sunscreen, lip balm. There's also a whistle. There's 2 electrolytes. There's an emergency blanket. There's 20 foot of 550 cord, and there is a water purification tab.
I mean, that right there,
Pretty solid.
that's a sell.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
So for your standard, boo-boos, scrapes, cuts, things like that, burns.
Yeah, so if you
guy.
added your personal medications to the kit, and you also have the bandana as well, so you have some extra abilities there as far as first aid goes.
Yeah,
you could even make a tourniquet.
Yeah, and I
out of that if
carry,
needed to.
I carry a tourniquet on me with a pair of shears as, just because there's so many things that can go wrong. So, but yeah, I have the basics covered for what we could expect to encounter out here.
Now, here I notice you also have some hygiene products.
Yes.
We can't say what this is, but it's a poop kit.
Right, yeah.
So it's kind of like your baby wipes
It is.
out there.
It is.
Don't get monkey butt.
Exactly. Just because we're out in the woods doesn't mean we can't have some sort of comfort items to help us move through the situation. And with this kit, it gives you toilet paper, wet wipes, a disposable bag, and hand sanitizer.
All in one little bitty kit.
All in one little package.
So you throw a few of those into your cargo pants.
Yep.
Inside your jacket pocket.
You're good to go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And you're living in style right there.
Leave no trace.
Leave no trace as well.
Well, I can definitely say that hygiene does not get near the limelight that
No,
it
it
should.
doesn't.
Hygiene in the field is paramount.
Absolutely.
Start thinking about some of the conditions you can get from being unclean.
Right.
Like, that
You know,
could be
and
a-
when, you know.
Yeah, go to an infectious disease class.
Right. And you have an abrasion because, you're hiking and, and you get, an abrasion from, stuff rubbing together and also it's fungal infection or,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, you're about to have a rough time.
What's this?
This is the Clean Freak body wipe. I love these things. They're decent enough. They're
So
not,
for our germaphobes, that's the ticket right there, right?
yeah, and they have them just the antibacterial scent-free ones, which I prefer, but I'll use whatever as long as it will work. And these are 11 by 11 inches.
Oh, man size.
Yeah.
So they're not like for, the little bitty ones that you get in the travel packs. But again, it's big enough, you can get the main parts that we all
Get
know
all
we're
your
talking
hot,
about.
get all your hot spots.
Right.
Yeah. So keeping clean is paramount, like Mr. Simmons was saying, because a lot can go down and go south just being out here and not taking care of yourself. So, we talk about hydration and thermoregulation and food, but
I bet Denzel Washington wished he'd had those in the book of Eli.
Right. Yeah.
Let's do the KFC.
oh yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
He would have killed for one of them right
Absolutely,
there.
absolutely.
If God would have just shown it to him.
It is. It is.
Okay, so we've got that's great. I'm digging that. But what's interesting me is, well, before we get there, what is this thing?
So this is a signal mirror. They just came out with the most recent mission on this one as well.
That is recent as well?
Yeah.
Just
so
came in?
the utensil set, and
In one box.
yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah. So it's a mixed bag. Every month it's
and
different.
and a mill. Yeah, it was a mill, that, in one box.
In the basic
In the
Yeah.
basic mission.
box, right?
Yeah. So obviously I haven't taken the film off yet, but I will before I use it.
Well, if you were going to use I keep my film on
Right,
there.
just to keep it from getting scuffed
Right,
and
yeah,
scratched.
you don't want to
so.
do that.
But yeah, I mean, you got the orange lanyard with it, so and it's got the crosshair sighting on it.
That's not a ballistic drop reticle?
No, not on this model.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to come out with that one or not.
Nice
so.
case, too,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. At least it comes with a case, because a lot of times the
They
companies
don't.
they don't. They'll just come in a little zipper, plastic bag that is worse than single.
That's
ply
pretty
toilet paper.
impressive, actually, for a signal mirror. Like, I'm
Yeah.
actually really impressed with that.
Yeah. Decent size.
But the thing that I wanted to get to, like my favorite part of it, is the tooling.
Ah.
Because in my world, like when I go out and I do challenges or whatever, that's kind of like my security blanket. If I have the tooling, I know I can make anything that I need to make, or I can process whatever I need to process. It gives me a lot of advantage in the field. So I want to talk about what tools you chose.
All right, so up first, the Silky. This thing,
My favorite. I think, how many of us carry them?
I will be
Wintertime.
shortly because I used one this weekend.
Oh yeah, because you used it for the first time this
I
week.
used it for the first time this
Well,
weekend. I've been avoiding it like the plague because I got like a dozen saws, and yeah, now I gotta have a silk.
In my opinion, that is definitely the best saw that you can carry in
Wintertime for sure.
wintertime for
Yeah.
sure. 100%.
yeah, this thing is a beast. And and you don't have to overwork yourself. You let the tool do what it's designed
Do
to
the work for you,
Well, I mean,
right?
it's, you know, packable enough. You kind of got, like, it is big, but you could do some cool crafting.
It doesn't
some
take up a lot of room in your
shaping
pack,
stuff,
though.
yeah.
At
Yeah,
all.
it's not heavy.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact, like, if you're driving somewhere, you could whip that out if a tree fell
yeah.
across
Oh,
it. I
absolutely.
mean, that
It
would
stays
be
in the
a
back.
godsend.
Yeah.
It stays
Well,
in the back.
I'll,
Yes.
I'll mention this with the Silky since it was the first time I used it this weekend. Definitely, you don't do the work. You do the draw.
Yeah. No, it's,
It definitely does the
Like
work.
the old school guys that just got a rhythm going.
Right,
Well,
you just get that
anybody
rhythm
that
and
talk to each
it'll
other while they're doing
it
it.
does plenty of chewing on its own. You
Yeah,
don't
that
have,
thing
you
is
don't
a
have to
beast.
press.
anybody that doesn't know, like, those are a pull saw, so you're
Correct.
not really, you're not.
Doesn't cut in both directions, for those of you
It's-
that don't know.
It's something you kind of just got to get used to
Yeah.
as far as how you cut with it, but it does the job.
Okay, now this one here.
A classic.
This is a very classic knife. This is the Brothers of Bushcraft, made by Tops. It is the Fieldcraft, and it is in the Battlebox exclusive color of brown. So the scales, the handle, or the blade finish is a Battlebox exclusive. So I had to buy this. When I saw that it came in the pro level box, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go buy it.
Right. And I've had one for well over 10 years. I used to use it hunting all the time. It's one of my favorite hunting knives of all time.
Yeah, this thing is a beast. I did take the spine down to a 90.
I had to with mine as well.
Yeah, the
I
coating
think
on
that's really the only weak point in the Fieldcraft knife.
Yeah, honestly. I can't think of anything negative other than that coating, but that's an easy, quick with a file job. It's got both sides. It's got the bow drill divot.
Ambidextrous.
Yep. The feel, I mean, it's great in the hands, and it's a great heavy forward chopper, but you can still do fine work with it. So it is a great knife.
I would consider that to be a true survival knife.
Yeah.
Like if we got in an argument about what is a bushcraft knife, what is a survival knife, what is a hunting knife, what is if we just go down the list, that will do a lot of things. It may not do everything well, but you can do it with that knife.
Oh, absolutely. And then knowing how to use the tools properly and what their limitations are, that'll take you further in life. So overall, this is my pick for this challenge, obviously because it was battleboxed and it works. Obviously, it's got some use on it. So, yeah, it's a solid knife. I enjoy using it. But I like to have backups. So we've got redundancies on all these, but for a cutting implement, I have
Cue the music.
yeah. So this one is the Tops Brandon Curran Special. So the MSK 2.5. This
out to
is my favorite knife. It is so small, but mighty. I've used this thing for whittling, carving, making
I can
notches.
tell you're glowing.
I love it, man. I love it. I wear it every day. I have to keep making sure to, keep it honed and keep it greased down so it doesn't rust. There was a couple of pieces or spots of rust, but I was able to.
Well, it's a
nick
carbon
those.
blade.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna rust if
Take
you
care of your
neglect it.
blades.
So, but I mean, overall, yeah, this is my backup, and it seems funny, like you've got this giant knife beast, and then this is the backup.
Well,
But
I mean, how many of us carry a belt knife and then we have some kind of jackknife, a multi-tool,
Right.
a pocket
That's a
knife,
heck of a
folder?
combination.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a great combination. Not
So-
quite a kukri,
Right.
right? But you still have. I like it. I
Yeah.
think it's a good system.
I love it. So,
And plus, if you lose your primary blade, hope to God you don't. Right.
I've got a backup.
But you've got it. It's on you. You've got a lanyard attached to your body.
Yep.
Right. So if you had to just get up and boogie.
And it's current.
Yeah, it's a Curran.
Enough said.
Yeah,
Shout out to our boy.
that's it. Yeah. So,
But yeah, if you did, you had to press it into service, it would do a lot.
yeah.
All right. So what are our thoughts on this stuff? Like, what do we think as a group about what's on the table? I think this is a pretty solid kit. I would not call it a 4-season kit
No.
at all. You're going to have to rely on your skills with what's on the table. Now,
Even
that's
with
not to
using-
say they can't go online and buy other stuff.
Oh yeah, no. The
Right.
store has so much stuff for anything, camping, bushcraft, everyday carry, you name it, they have it.
So if you're interested in getting a Battlebox subscription, I guess what we're trying to show, the point that we're trying to show is that they do offer a lot of high quality stuff, because I think there's this myth out there that you're going to get all these like really crappy products.
Yeah.
in
Now,
a subscription box.
full disclosure, I have gotten things in the box that I personally did not have an immediate need for, but I found someone who did.
Or
and
like
I
a gift.
Yep, I gifted it to them. So I may not have found it useful for what I needed, but someone I knew did. And that was as simple as, hey, here you go. You need it. I've got it. So, but yeah.
Well, not to mention in all of our classes, you've done I don't know how many demonstrations with BattleBox products.
Oh, I've got tons of products.
And you're always showing us something new that came. We get a picture like,
Yeah,
check out what I got.
It's kind of my thing. I don't know. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Every month when it shows up, I'm just like beating the mailman down to get, where's my box? So.
No, I really cut you off, Mike. You were about to say something about it when we were talking about your thoughts.
Well, we were talking about, not necessarily a 4-season kit, and and I think that's true, even though you've got with the casualty blanket that you could add to your sleep system and things like that. That's going to get you an extra, 5-7 degrees, but it would get you through the night,
Right.
something like that. And so even if you looked at this as a 3-season and then supplemented with smart planning,
Or skills.
Right.
Yeah.
or skills, you could stretch this and get more out of it than maybe even it was designed to do.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, throw a painter's tarp in here. I mean, you've got a super shelter. You
Right.
could,
Yeah.
you could-
Easily do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, what do we think this way? This is definitely under 20 pounds,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So that means a man, a woman, or a child could carry this pack. If you're a big guy, you're used to carrying a lot of weight like some of us are, and you get injured, big guy goes down, can your child carry the most important stuff
Right.
within the kit, right?
Yeah, and then the hardest part for me was picking out the products that I wanted to use this weekend, because like I said, I've got a ton of stuff.
I've seen your garage.
Yeah,
He's got like all these bins that he just
It's not a
has to,
garage,
like-
it's a warehouse.
yeah, he got a little bit too giddy, like showing us what he was actually going to bring for the
yeah.
trip.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I personally, I mean, because I brought it and used it this weekend, I think it was. I mean, we didn't die,
Yeah.
Well,
so
Yeah, we're here talking about it,
Yeah.
so we know we made it. Okay. All right, so any other thoughts about it?
the bone broth, if you're out there and you end up being out there longer than what you thought, if you can acquire some meat in the field, you could cook up a real nice soup with that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something that people don't talk about
Well, this-
because little things like that, like his Denny, like we know from Denny, because he's always out there flavoring stuff for us and everything. He actually has some class, whereas we don't. But yeah, I know he can make a meal out of
Yeah.
this. And
With
it
a
would
little
be-
bit of wild edibles training and things like that.
Well, I mean, just the
those-
bone broth itself, like you could, it probably has a good, pretty decent amount of, like, it's really good for you. It's very nutritious.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah. So, I mean, as far as just a compact.
And that's something that you
quick
don't
meal.
often see in videos,
Yeah.
people talking about that. So
No,
that
I
right
mean, I'm
there is pretty-
interested. I didn't know this existed.
I
I'll
didn't
probably look
either.
into that.
Well, if you
like-
get a BattleBox subscription,
yeah,
then
right.
you know. Just saying. Just saying.
like I know a guy.
Yeah.
I think what impressed me the most that I had never considered before, because a lot of our viewers are talking about their families, right, and being able to provide for other people. So, like, I see several products that would do that,
Yeah.
that are on the table. So, I think that's what impressed me the most. Besides the fact that there's a lot of redundancy here, like from my own kit. I carry a solo stove, I carry a Grail, I carry a DD tarp, I carry the Wazoo fire card, I carry the Wazoo bandana, I have that saw, so you basically have like half of my kit on this table already.
Yeah, and I got it from One Stop Shop.
It just arrives in the mailbox.
Just arrives in the box, baby.
Well, you got anything else to say, guys?
It's
I think we have proven it. Can you bug out with BattleBox? Could you get a subscription, and could this help you to bug out?
Absolutely.
And besides that, I mean, you could add stuff to this kit.
Yeah.
Right, like it's delivered to your door, you literally throw it in the bag. What am I missing? That's the question. I think, what are we missing that's on the table? That's something that should be asked, because I see something right now. Navigation. There's no compass. I do know, I do have one BattleBox product that you gave me is my battle board. I use it all the time. It's got my Ride in the Rain book in there. You gave me I've got all my pens and pencils, my map tools,
Right.
all that stuff is stored in there. with my map compass, and then I've got my Kamenga to go with it as well, and my Wazoo compass. But I don't see a compass on here. So what's the deal with that?
Yeah, no, it's it kind of goes back to knowing where you're going to be going to, like having a plan. I knew we weren't going to go too crazy off into the woods. I knew the area we were going to be in roughly. I mean, it's kind of hard to.
Well, we got dropped off. We just knew we were going to be in North Georgia. You're pretty much all in the same spot. No matter
Yeah,
where
so
you go.
it's one or the other. But I just I don't know.
Like today, for example, there is absolutely no sun, and we couldn't see the stars because it was cloudy.
Yeah.
But
So I have to take a hit on that. There's no navigational tools. So,
What about y'all? What do
Well,
y'all see?
I think that is part of the reason they may have not done a whole lot of that through Battlebox and everything, is because that's going to be region specific and it's going to be individual specific. So you should have maps of your own area, and they're not going to be able to really predict that where you're going to be, because they're shipping all over the world.
Right.
You know, so I think that would be on the level of individual responsibility to
Right.
just to know where you're going to be, and if you're going to be out there, have some kind of idea of
well, and sourcing a compass that's good for the
precision
area
tool.
you're in.
Right,
Precision
because-
tool.
A lot of
The-
people don't know. Like you can buy a global compass,
Or a
you
northern
can buy
hemisphere,
a northern or a southern
yeah.
hemisphere compass as well.
Right.
So that's a good point.
So
All right, I'll take a hit on that one.
Well, what else? What else do we see that's not here? In y'all's opinion?
self-defense,
Yep. The
which is
biggest
going to
one.
be individual specific as well.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not like Battlebox can send out Glocks.
Right.
True.
Well, you know,
Only if they could. Only if they could.
if we could only dream.
That is that's a personal choice too, like what they're comfortable with
Right.
for their own self-defense or the defense of others. So it could be pepper spray, it could be a stun gun, anything. So
It's still a deal breaker for me. If I can't get a 10 mil, then I'm not signing up. You need to talk to Brandon.
sorry, I'll see what I can do. I'll talk with them. We'll have a meeting.
Okay. All right. Okay. Defense and navigation. Signaling might be a little weak. You do have a whistle. You do have the card, but I mean that's pretty specific to what all of us carry. You would have to rely on your skill and the resources that are around you.
Well, and let's just be fair. If we're going to start throwing shade, then yeah, I've got a signal mirror, but I also have plenty of items to start a signal fire with.
Yes, you do.
So-
you have more than I carry.
Ye-
Yeah.
In a real world, oh crap, I need to be rescued, I'm going to burn the forest down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'll see my signal fire from satellite.
Yeah. So if it's protecting my family and myself, and we need to get rescued, yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice the environment just to get that signal out.
Yeah, my special operations chief said, "Burn the forest down. We'll come
Yeah,
get you."
somebody's
Yeah.
coming. It may be
Absolutely.
smoke jumpers, but somebody's coming. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Well,
sure.
and let's be truly honest. Unless you get unless you get in a deep bush, who doesn't have a cell phone on them? Are you gonna ditch it because you leave the house?
I mean, I spent 14 years going after people that relied on their cell phone.
I didn't
though.
say rely on it. I said you have it. It's an
Yeah.
option.
Oh well, then wait a minute. There we go. So there, my compass is my phone. We'll go with that.
Oh no, no. That's why he had to go rescue people.
Yeah.
No,
All right. Well,
no, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. First line, yeah. If you got a cell phone, try the cell phone. Second line, no. It's big 3 signal fires. I completely agree with that. I'm not saying rely on it, but I'm saying if you pick it up and you got signal, and you need immediate help, that's your first
And
call.
this is all basic training you could get from any basic survival course, like land to air
Absolutely.
signaling, how to do, rules of threes.
Like the new iPhones do have the SOS. I don't know how good it is, but that is a
Right.
thing. Just a caveat in there.
Okay,
like
I'll
that.
give you a 0.3 point.
I'll take it. I'll
Point.
take anything I can
I
get.
want to give you a half a point.
That's
but
fine.
I'll give you 0.3. Plus, you could start a fire with it. You have a light.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of situations where you're only going to be able to go where the situation allows you to. You can have
Right.
you can have a map and a compass and pick out the most efficient route to get from A to B and everything like that, and you're going to have to trash the plan because
And
given
most people
terrain,
don't have the degree of land nav experience and training that we
Right.
have
you know,
either.
and that there's going to be terrain. There's going to be something that happened, a mudslide that happened that's not going to be listed on the map that you didn't know was there. You're going to have to navigate around it. So where you go is going to be dictated by the situation as much as anything.
Now, I think another valuable point to kind of close out with as well, because I deal with this a lot as a content creator. People are always saying, well, I would never bug out. I'm going to bug in, right? Well, with all the stuff that you got in your subscription boxes, I mean, you've got a bins full of stuff at home. Plus, you could put all this together and you've got a bag. I mean, people act like you can't bug in with your bug out bag.
Yeah.
Right.
It's whatever you choose is necessary for you at that time. If bugging in makes more sense, stay where you're at. If bugging out makes sense, then do what you got to do.
You talk about creating a microclimate, like setting this up in your living room. If the power went out, when we had that a couple of years ago, that 0 degrees with a negative 25 wind chill, for 3 days, and if the power had gone out, like this would have been
the bomb.
right.
Yeah. It would have kept you from dying.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So only 2 of us have Battlebox subscriptions, and it's not me. For sure. I guess the question is, would you consider a Battlebox subscription?
Yeah, after seeing this weekend, because I didn't know, I'd never even been on their website before. I knew of Battlebox, I'd watched some of Kern's videos and things like that, but as far as knowing the depth that they've got built into all of these products and everything, yeah, I'm in.
Not to mention the fact that we've seen, because you were talking about the vault, right? Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so I can only go into a little bit of detail. So
Secret squirrel stuff.
yes, it is. So that is only for active subscribers, but it is worth being a subscriber to have access to the vault.
Members only VP room.
Yes.
So cool stuff in the vault, but you also said that they have mystery boxes.
They do. Now those things will go fast. They will take a box and you don't know what you're getting, what's the size of the box or anything, and all you know is it's going to cost you this much money. And it could be a grail. It could be anything that they have sent in any missions up to and including the current mission. It could just be stuff they have extra of, whatever. But that's also
That's why it's a mystery.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So another thing too that I'm wondering, like not having a subscription, if I did sign up for this, am I obligated to pay upfront for a year or
No, it's month to month.
It's month to month. So
You can
I can
cancel at any time.
At any time.
Yeah, and you can skip months if you know.
What?
If you know, hey, next month I've got a vacation to the Tiki Islands, I got to pay for that. You can pause your subscription
Wow.
and skip it until the next month.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes, and their customer service, dude,
It's
phenomenal.
awesome.
So you could like subscribe, say 4 months before Christmas or something, and now you've got like stocking stuffers and gifts that you can give to your friends,
Absolutely.
your kids, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of dig it. So I think we have answered the question. Like you could bug out with Battlebox.
Yep.
All right, so like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, fuel the fires.